Alright, welcome back to my channel. We are going to get into another painting with another reference, and this one is of the ear. And I would like to point out, just to remind you guys, that you can get some brushes, custom brushes, if you would like to use, because we are going for the painterly style, and sometimes getting custom brushes are really helpful. So you can get those off of cubebrush.co and gumroad.com, and they're inexpensive. You can order them and just experiment with them and giving your painting a more painterly look when painting in Adobe Photoshop, which is what we're using. And I'm using the Wacom tablet. And just in case you were wondering what tool I was using, I have some book recommendations in the description below, and check those out. That kind of helps in drawing portraits and things like that. So okay, let's jump right into this. So we have the photo layer right here. We're just going to lock that so we don't mess with it or anything. And what we're going to do, we're going to do new layer just like we did before, and this will be the painting layer. And now we can choose our brush. I'm going to have the opacity up. And then when we get into getting the different colors and everything, I could turn that opacity down so that we can bring the color in gradually. So first, I'm going to go for a mid-tone here. Not the lightest area, but the mid-tone. And I'm just going to start painting. We're going to use this as the canvas. And this is on pen pressure. If you go to the brush settings, and you can get the brush settings from here as well. Window and then brush settings. And also, I do want to set up two windows. So what I'm gonna do is go to Windows, Arrange, and go to New Window for this document. And then we're gonna go back to Window and Arrange and Vertical. And this is so we can have a good view of our canvas and a good view of the reference. Okay, so this is set up on pen pressure. That's why I'm getting the different shades that you see. And I keep it on that setting for the most part. So I'm going to minimize that, put this aside. Okay, now what we're going to do is start with there's this dark area. I'm going to choose a dark blue. I'm not going to use straight black. And I'm going to just shape the ear. Right there. And I'm just blocking in this shape that we see. And then we're going to get into the ear. And the shadow's right here. There's a shadow right here, and it's about this thin in between. This takes a lot of practice as far as, you have to know distance between objects and between shapes. So you got this part, it goes in like right here, and it gets about right there, and then it comes down. The shape like this, and when I'm looking at the inside, there's a shape like that. And there's shapes that you have to pay attention to. I'm not looking at it as a ear, I'm more looking at it as different shapes. It's the easiest way, at least for me and for some artists, to paint accurately. So we look at the shape of the shadows, not just the actual subject's shape, but the shape of the shadows as well. Like there might be a shadow right here that goes down like this shape right here. And we know where everything lines up. Like this is over here. See, this lines up right there, and I know that this curve right here comes out from there. Now we have another shape right here, and another shade area shaped like sort of a shoe. So that's the next step we're gonna proceed to. So I'm gonna erase that. Okay. We have the leaf, which starts in the middle of the shade right there. And we'll straighten this out. See this side over here, it lines up over here, so that's about right. Okay, now it's time to put in some color. Now I'm going to use a darker red for the really dark areas. Okay. So now we're going to go to the mixer brush tool and make sure it samples all layers and just kind of mix everything. And you're making sure that, you know, how much mix, how much you want to mix, how much load of paint do you want, the wetness, all that. So you can control all that up here. So you can explore that, see what works for you. We're gonna go with the other brush, our original brush, and let's see how much light we want. And the opacity is still low, so if we get too crazy. Let's go with the yellow. Okay, now we are going to start on the hair, and I'm going to sample this color, and I'm going to go darker, and what I need to do is create this shape like I did here, and the darkest part, that's where the shape will end, because then I'll create the strands after I get this shape in there. So let me show you something real quick. This right here is a shape. This is how I can figure out the distance of the hair to the leaf or to the ear. It's just imagining the shape right there. So we're gonna go ahead, and I imagine the shape there, and also where this curves, that's where the hair is gonna be. But I'm just getting the main shape, not the strands, just that shape. So it starts to bend right there. And then it's just, now what I need to do now is I'm gonna pull some of this, and now there's some light areas in the hair. What I'm gonna do, let's get all the dark area here, and what we can do is gonna go up just a little bit and this way, because these are gray actually. There's a shape There's different shapes here. There's this shape, this shape, this shape, and this shape. And we got that shape. This can be difficult. So what I'm going to do is use the smoothing tool up here option and turn that up and see if that helps me just a little bit. It helps you make smoother lines. So that's cool. down. Use a soft brush. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to do some more references. There's a lot that we can do to this. We can go into the filters and actually bump up the vibrance of the colors and all of that. So experiment with them. The tools are down here. You can do the hue saturation, the levels, the brightness. Remember, you can do things like if you go to curve, you can do Control I after you set this up, to the brightness that you want. You can Control I and then paint back by going to a lighter color, a light color, white, or we can do white because our opacity is down, so you can do that and bring some of that light back. See how cool that is. And yeah, that's just some of the tricks that you can use to get things back. And the vibrance and hue saturation, you'll do the same thing. You can do that and it looks really nice like this. But you can do Control I after and you can bring, because some of it you may not want it to be as saturated as certain parts of the painting. So turn the opacity down and bring back some of the areas that you want to be saturated. I'm using a soft brush. Make that greener. Make the ear a little bit. And then some of the blue. And that makes it look a little bit cooler and more interesting. So join me next time for another video using another reference. And make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. And y'all stay cool. Peace.